this unprecedented to arrest a former president for not turning in documents?
A former president that had committed this many provable criminal acts.
But what are the provable criminal acts, I guess?
Provable criminal acts. Well, I'm done talking.
Maybe the NPC script didn't go that far. Who knows? Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Luke Radowski here of WeAreChange.org. And oh boy, are things getting very tumultuous here inside of the United States as things are getting very serious with the Federal Bureau of Investigations. Lots of things to get into. A big warning to give out there to the general public with what I think is going to be happening next. Lots of issues to get into, including, of course, other insane, bonkers, domestic news. And we're going to get into that, plus a lot more. But before you do, if you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you can get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. It reads "Inflation is theft," because it is. It's one of the largest taxes levied against the people, and with record high taxes, inflation, regulations, and rules, it seems like a lot less people have money for entertainment. This as on record. U.S. gamers are spending a lot less on video games than they did the previous year. Interest in superhero movies is also dropping. Is this a push against the woke nonsense out there, or are people just going broke? Who knows? Maybe a combination of both of those things. As, of course, there's a plethora of absolute woke nonsense out there being regurgitated by the power political establishment. This as in New York, a state that's being devastated with crime to the point where even immigrants don't want to stay in New York City anymore. Yes, you heard that correctly. The mayor of New York City literally said that his city is too crime-ridden for illegal immigrants. It's also just a nasty place. It smells like sour milk. There's trash everywhere, graffiti all over the streets, criminals running loose, but the government there definitely has their priorities straight, as of course they're pushing forward legislation and implementing new regulations fighting emotion and words. Yes, you heard that correctly. The New York State is trying to fight the stigma of calling criminals inmates to, quote, reduce the harmful stigma against incarcerated people. She even went as far as to call them the justice-involved individuals, as she literally signed into law a bill that prevents prisoners from being called inmates. Yes, these are the types of laws, the rules, regulations that they're pushing forward in New York. This as the unelected governor there has left the state in utter decline, and being from New York City myself, knowing some criminals, I don't think they care. But the state trying to better the emotions and feelings of criminals is absolutely something New York State would do. And other woke-related nonsense that absolutely has no real effect on your life but serves as a larger divide-and-conquer distraction. We, of course, also found out moments ago that Rosita from Sesame Street was just canceled, as all the attractions and restaurants attributed to her have been closed after there was a videotaped incident of allegedly the fake character ignoring children because of their skin color. Now, of course, this is an allegation that is going to court. They're being sued for $25 million, claiming that their mascot deliberately ignored their kids. Who knows? Who cares? But I think this perfectly shows you the utter cultural decline of our modern society with such frivolous lawsuits and nonsense that the general public is busy talking about, as of course we're living through a decline of an empire. And it's not just Rosita that's going to be canceled. It's also, of course, going to be a lot of political commentators. This as Twitter just rolled out their plan to, quote, protect the upcoming midterm elections. And as we know, Twitter has a huge left-wing bias, especially with the policies that they have been implementing, the things that they allow certain people to get away with, the things that they punish people for, clearly has been used by the power establishment to push forward their agenda and destroy, censor, and stop anyone from criticizing it. And most likely, when it comes to their new approach to stop and suppress, quote, misleading information, this will most likely benefit, of course, the political party that they are most closely aligned with. All of this after Elon Musk said that he's not interested in buying the company and has even teased that he might be releasing his own social media site to, of course, compete with Twitter. Will that happen? Will this be an alternative that would allow free speech? Well, it's too early to call now, as of course other countries are taking matters into their own hands and implementing some absolutely crazy laws that we're going to be talking about later on today on LukeUncensored.com, our own platform, where of course we can't be canceled because it's our own platform. We get to say and do whatever we want, get into the hot button issues and topics. Creating this platform has been very lethargic for me. It has allowed me to finally release my full truths without self-censoring myself, which I have to on this platform, because if I didn't, you probably wouldn't be hearing my voice right now. And today we're going to be talking about more spicy topics, as well as continuing our AMA, where we will be answering your questions directly. That plus members merchandise, 3 masterclasses, and news directly focused at helping you will be out later today on LukeUncensored.com. Also, we're going to be getting into forever chemicals, lots of crazy, scary things happening surrounding that, how you can try to avoid it, lots of things we're getting into right after this video, which you could watch right now on LukeUncensored.com. And if you haven't clicked the link in the description below, what are you waiting for? Click it right now and sign up right now to get exclusive content that is only going to be shown to you as a member of our official group and not the general public. LukeUncensored.com. See you right there after this conversation. Now, I think it's very fair to say that socially, politically, and economically, we're living in very turbulent times. Those times haven't been made better, especially when it comes to the drastic moves made by this Biden administration that seems like they're doing everything they can to prolong it and make it that much worse. It is my personal opinion that they are actually doing this deliberately, as even today, the Wall Street Journal writes how businesses should prepare for civil unrest when it comes to the larger food scarcity coming our way, food scarcity that has been made worse by a deliberate energy price hiking, destructive energy policies by the Biden administration, World Economic Forum policies that have been implemented in Sri Lanka, in the Netherlands, and Bangladesh, and many other countries in the world that are already revolting, and of course by prolonging the conflict in Ukraine, escalating it rather than, of course, pushing for peace deals. This has led us to a drastic situation where even the Wall Street Journal was warning about this, and they're right to do this. This, as the Washington Post also released an article today talking about how historians were warning the President of the United States, Joe Biden, about the dire conditions of democracy during a secret meeting on August 4th, the same day that there was a ferocious lightning storm that directly impacted the White House. Now, we don't know exactly what happened during this 2-hour meeting, but I think it's pretty clear that these historians warning about the rise of totalitarianism, the decline of democracy, the destruction of civil liberties are absolutely warranted in doing so, especially after this administration's overly egregious, aggressive moves as they have been politicizing law enforcement in this country for their own personal benefit. Just a few days ago, Project Veritas revealed how the FBI released a list of alleged extremist symbols, which included the Gadsden flag, which is important for this country's history, attacked ANCAPs and people who believe in capitalism. This after the FBI just raided the former president of the United States for over 9.4 hours, allegedly, after they tried to get a couple boxes of records for the National Archives. Again, this story doesn't add up, doesn't make any sense, and the FBI's not done there, as of course they also have stolen cell phones from other Republican political representatives that have ties to the former president of the United States. They have also just issued subpoenas to Republican lawmakers in Pennsylvania who privately were considering the possibility of sending alternate electors, which is not illegal in the state. This as the federal government is also set to employ 87,000 new IRS agents. This as the organization previously abused its power to go after conservative groups, as reported even by NPR in 2017. Now they're trying to arm their agents like soldiers, recently putting out an advertisement and now hiding it, calling for new hirees to of course be armed and to be ready to of course use their weapons in upcoming government operations. This as Elon Musk just tweeted this meme highlighting a British redcoat in the famous Mel Gibson movie The Patriot, with the caption that reads, "When the country that revolts over taxes hires 87,000 new IRS agents," even going on and further explaining that he already gets audited every year. When asked specifically by Linda and agreeing with her sentiment that, quote, "They're not going after you, they're coming for us." And that's the sentiment that, of course, a lot of people feel is true here in the United States. As, of course, this bombshell raid by the FBI still has a lot of mystery surrounding it, as the search warrant still has not been released, which according to Eric Trump, agents have refused to provide a copy of. Republican lawmakers are demanding an explanation here. Some people are speculating that the FBI had to confiscate documents that were, quote, damning and dangerous and made them look bad. U.S. Senator Rand Paul even suggested that the FBI could have used this opportunity to plant evidence. Congressman Steve Scalise came out today and said that there's a possibility that some of these FBI agents have gone rogue, and clearly there's a confrontation between the Republicans and Democrats using law enforcement and the Federal Bureau of Investigations as their strong arm for their own political benefit. The FBI also today is complaining about the large swaths of threats that it's receiving after their very egregious strong actions. Online commentator Ramsey Paul said that this is the FBI calling out in pain as they strike you, while Jason Rance had a more nuanced take on this that I think is worth noting, saying, quote, the same Democrats and media members who were silent on threats against conservative justices and actual violence against police during the BLM movement are suddenly vocal about threats against the FBI. Quote, how about we condemn all threats and violence? It's pretty damn simple. And I think the sentiment by Jason Rance is definitely more clear-headed and something that should be widely considered, all in the face of an incident during the making of this video that we're hearing about when it comes to an armed confrontation happening at FBI headquarters in the Cincinnati office. What's happening here? What are the details here? Well, we still don't know. We're still finding out the details. But I think it's pretty clear that violence begets more violence. And at this particular time, I don't think it's going to solve anything. And more importantly than ever, I think it's probably important to look out for potential false flags or incidences that could be orchestrated to allow this larger back and forth pendulum swing to go fully out of control. As we know, the Federal Bureau of Investigations has a long history of setting up mentally handicapped individuals to commit random acts of terror, to try to hurt other people when they had no ability to do so. They usually target lonely people. They've been trying very desperately to try to do this on the right wing. This as recently, the FBI lost a major court case in Michigan where they, of course, accused right-wing individuals of plotting to kidnap the governor there, which we found out was actually set up by the FBI, with 12 of their informants being a part of a group of 17 or 18 other individuals. Yes, you heard that correctly. Out of 17 or 18 individuals, 12 of them were FBI informants, as a court in Michigan recently ruled that they were set up by FBI agents, as of course the FBI was engineering the plot from the very beginning. They were being set up, a court ruled in their favor, and with actions like this and other very nefarious previous actions from the Federal Bureau of Investigations, I think more than ever it's time to call for nonviolence, while at the same time looking out for potential false flags that could be used to further escalate this situation, a sort of Reichstag fire that would be blame on political opponents, as of course this would give the state the perfect excuse to, of course, really crack down on any form of dissidents or political opinions that they deem not worthy to them. And again, what I'm saying here is pure speculation. I could be totally wrong, but from understanding the political landscape, understanding history and the way things played out previously before, and the trajectory that the American public is on, I think it's fair that these warnings should at least be heard and released to the general public. As of course, violence is a tool of the state that they have mastered, and any time an individual use it, they give the state an excuse to trample on everyone else. And this is why I believe non-violence is the only way to truly try to rewind the larger divide and conquer agenda that's playing out in this country right now. There's other fellow Democrats. There's people in the political power establishment saying, hey, the FBI went too far here. Individuals like Andrew Yang, Andrew Cuomo, even some corporate media institutions. Clearly, something stinks to high heaven here, and we should be utilizing all legal and lawful resources in order to find out what's going on here. That's just, again, my own personal opinion, my own personal perspective. Do you think I'm warranted in my warnings? If you think so, let me know down in the comment section below. If you think I'm wrong, also, please let me know down in the comment section below. I always appreciate the constructive criticism. I always appreciate the ability to have an open dialogue, because that's another thing that will help us roll away the larger crap show that's unfolding right in front of us, which a lot of people seem inevitable for an utter major crap storm coming our way. to me, not all hope is lost. Hope to see you on LukeUncensored.com doing another video right after this one. You could watch it right now. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys actively watching, sharing this video with your friends, family members, random strangers. Someone messages you on any social media platform. Scroll through all the messages. Click on that random person, whoever it is. Friend from high school, an ex, doesn't matter. You roulette message it, copy the URL of this video, send them to this person without even saying anything. And because you do that, we're still here. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. This is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for a lot more here on wearechange.org.